it's just a really nice space to be part of in the community of artists. It was like the early noughties. It wasn't a buzz about knitting, and it was so it was basically colour coding my art, giving me a focus. I love them all because I can't choose a favourite colour, I can't choose a favourite shackle. Teach the young people that we're all unique. It's like your own superpower, your uniqueness, and it's great that there is, you know, more people knowing about what's happening in the northern towns, and we're really friendly here.
Hi, welcome back to This Is Mint, the podcast that talks to the makers, the creators, and the movers and the shakers from the north of England. I hope everybody is well out there. Last episode, we are down to our last one. How fast the time has flied. I just wanted to say a little thank you to everyone that has listened so far and has shared it and liked it on social media and, you know, got it out there to all the people. And yeah, it's been an amazing experience getting to do this. If you'd asked me a year ago whether I thought I'd be able to do this, I would have definitely said no. And now we're at the end. I'm so glad that I have been able to go on this journey of podcasting. So all the episodes are available on YouTube, Spotify and Amazon Music if you want to go back and listen to them. If you haven't yet, if you're new, hello, welcome. I'm Heather. This is Mint. And yeah, if you want to go back and listen to them, then please do. So we have a really special episode for you for the very last one of this series, and it's in collaboration with a wonderful organisation called Rochdale Creates, which helps support arts and culture around Rochdale. Rochdale was given City of Culture this year, which is amazing. Where I'm from in Stockport, it was given to it last year, I think, or the year before. And yeah, it's been great to work with them and kind of see what cool things are coming out of Rochdale. And we've got a very special episode from the wonderful Ebor Studios, which is a creative space for artists in Rochdale. And yeah, we're going to talk to an amazing artist called Cheryl Beswick, who does a lot of chakra art and a lot of creative printmaking and all that sort of stuff. But before we listen to her, we are going to also hear from Marianne, who is the Ebor Studios creative manager who looks after the day-to-day goings on at Ebor Studios. So we're going to hear from her and then we're going to hear from Cheryl. Thank you again and enjoy. We are in Ebor Studios and you are the programme manager here. Is that right?
Correct, yeah.
Yeah. So what does that involve then, being the programme manager of this amazing studio?
So I suppose it's quite a great job for me because I don't really have to do very much. I've just sort of make an environment where I can facilitate the artists involved to do what they want to do, and they come to me with their projects and then I facilitate that.
Fantastic. And how long have you been here for?
I actually came to Ebor at an open studio in 2017 and then just never left. And then I've been doing programme management since 2019.
Fab, that's amazing. So when you are kind of putting, is it kind of just like there's a number of artists that have like are here permanently, and then do you have visiting artists that come as well?
Well, what we tend to do is try and focus on the artists that are members with us, and that really came out of when lockdown happened. The world kind of shut down, and we had to sort of take this insular view. And we saw that people were sort of craving community. So what we do is try and have a look at the artists that we've got here and make sure that we're giving them everything to develop and grow with inside.
What sort of facilities can you offer the artists that are here?
So facilities wise, we've got the gallery, which we're in right now.
Yep.
This is used for our exhibition programme. So we do 6 of those a year. And then when the exhibitions are not on, the artists can book the space for their various projects. So it could be that they need to do a photo shoot, or they've got a big thing that they can't fit in their studios, or they just want to have a fresh space to work on something. We've also got a dark room and a printing area that's got a printing press. got a wood workshop and a community garden, which a lot of artists use for just for gardening mainly, but also for workshops sometimes as well.
Could you tell us a little bit about the history of the building and kind of what it used to be and how it became the studio and a little bit about that sort of thing?
Do my best.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a heritage mill, so it was a textile mill. It's also been through various different phases. I know for a period of time it was used for school dinners for the primary school across the road.
Oh!
Yeah. It's also been a social club, so they used to have dances and things in here. And then it was a modern manufacturing mill as well, so I think it was fiberglass.
Okay.
And then it was inherited and turned into an arts space. So that was in 2012, it got turned into studios.
Right.
I wasn't here at that point, but I've heard that the top floor was completely open and mainly filled with pigeons.
Oh really?
Yeah, it was that bad. So they really, it's been a labour of love, and they've really made it into a nice space to work.
I mean it's such a beautiful building, and I'm a big fan of a mill. So it's such a beautiful space, and I think keeping that kind of these old sort of heritage now buildings and using them for good work is such an important thing. I think particularly for the area as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny that a lot of arts venues are mills, and it does lend itself to that because it's because they're heritage buildings, they need some love and care put into them to make them usable. So obviously artists are looking for cheap spaces and they move in, and it's made this sort of relationship with the arts up here.
Yeah, so you mentioned that you came here first for an open studio event. How do those open studio events work if people wanted to come and see? Is it like a pub thing to the public, or is it just for creatives? Or
no, anybody.
Yeah.
Everybody can come. We love it when people that haven't engaged with art come in to come and engage with us, because experiencing something new. It comes up with really interesting conversations that you don't usually have. So we really like it when people that have never engaged with arts come visit us.
Yeah, so with the open studios, is it just the kind of case of you kind of put on days and weekends and things, and people can just come and explore the space with the artists and stuff?
Yeah, we just do one a year, in the spring usually.
Yeah.
And it's a day, the doors open all day, it's just drop in however you like. So it's not compulsory, but a lot of the artists like to come in and just hang out in their studios, have some of their work there to be spoken about. And then we also programme the associate members show at the same time. So that is a group show of the members that we have that don't have studios, and they can show their work in the gallery in the foyer, and then they have a place for people to come and approach them and talk to them about their work as well.
Yeah, it's so amazing. It's so amazing. And you also have, is it a garden party that you do every year as well? Is that something else that you open up out to the public and have, or is that just for artists?
That's for everybody as well.
Yeah.
What that is we just do drop-in creative activities. So I think last year we had activities all to do with the plants that we could find in the garden. So we were doing lumen printing, which is a type of photographic print for people to take away. We were doing cyanotype printing, we had a drawing station, we were building bird nest feeders, loads of different things. People can just drop in, come and have a chat with us.
Yeah, it's brilliant. And so you have your community garden, which you were saying to me before we started that it was just basically rubble at one point, and it was just kind of a bit of a building site. And how important do you think it is for artists to have a green space to come to whilst they're at work? Because it's so much lone working, I guess, a lot of the time. So how important is it to have a green space like that as part of the studio?
It's been really helpful to a lot of artists here. They enjoy working on the garden together and planting different plants and things. We've had one of the woodworkers that was a little project for him. That was really good. And I know, like you say, it can feel like a bit of a lone activity being an artist, but I think what we've learned here is that it really isn't. And people are seeking collaborators, mentors, peers, and that will really sort of help them on their creative development and their creative journey. And having a varying amount of spaces for different people to explore that and meet new people, it's just been really, great for us.
Yeah, and I guess it kind of creates a bit more of a, not an office vibe, but like it kind of, like, I guess where you have like a staff canteen, it's like having a garden, which is like way better than a staff canteen. That's so nice as well. I didn't realise that it was also like artists that aren't based in the studio could come to the garden as well. That's really cool. Yeah. Do you think it's important to have like a sort of hub art spaces in different areas, just to sort of promote, like, I guess, the greater arts? I guess it's like strength in numbers, isn't it? Like,
absolutely. It's so important, and I feel like it's been great to see how Ebor has developed with our members collaborating with each other and making new works and innovating in ways that they maybe wouldn't have if they were sort of working independently and sort of in their own little scene bubble. But now we've got painters collaborating with sound artists and lots of different cross-media projects that are just great to see.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic. So in your role as programming manager, what does a typical day look like when you're just kind of like coming in on a regular day? What happens as program manager?
Yeah, it's a lot of admin, really. And I do the jobs that not a lot of people see or think about, but is completely necessary to have something like this working. So I'm speaking with other organisations, developing partnerships with them. I'm disseminating information to all of the members, making sure they know what's going on and how they can get in touch with me. Booking the gallery space and managing the calendar. Writing newsletters, photographing the artworks, ordering the billboard. Lots of different. It's very varied. It's very varied.
So what does the future hold for Ebor? What have you got coming up in the next few months and things? If people wanted to get involved, or what is happening in the near future?
Yeah, so we've got some great events coming up. So we've got a garden party, which we've mentioned, and we're going to be redoing a workshop that we recently did for this show, which was building a human-sized nest out of things that we've taken from the garden. It was a great workshop. We didn't know how to do it, so we just sort of made it up and built this nest. And then we took it in turns to lie in it was great. It was great.
That sounds amazing.
It was really fun.
Yeah.
So we're doing that at the garden party. We're going to have all the types of activities that I mentioned. During that time, we've got an exhibition on, which is a group show from the Rochdale Photographers Co-op. So that'll be various different photography projects, and that is called Perspectives. So that will be on at the same time so you can go and do that and then come and see the show as well.
Build a nest and look at the exhibition.
Absolutely.
Perfect day. And hopefully it'll be sunny and not raining.
We did have to do the nest indoors last time.
Right,
because of the weather.
Yeah, well, obviously, Manchester weather, isn't it?
Yeah.
Lovely. So if people wanted to get involved and find out a bit more about Ebor Studios, how would they be able to do that?
Yeah, we've got an Instagram and a Facebook that's quite active, and we've also got a mailing list. So I'll send reminders out and information about how you can come and get involved with us.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Well, thank you so much for chatting to me. Thank you. And check out Ebor's stuff soon. Well, Cheryl, welcome to This Is Mint. How are you?
Good, thank you. Thanks for having me.
No problem, no problem. So we are in Ebor Studios in Littleborough. Could you tell us a little bit about how long you've been here for?
Yeah, so I've been here now for over 15 years, since about 2009 or 8. I think I moved in, one of the original studio holders. It's just a really nice space to be part of in the community of artists. There aren't many in the area, well, artist studios, a few more popping up these days, but back in the day, there wasn't any. So I got here by my old lecturers at uni.
Right.
They actually owned this property. It wasn't an artist studios at that time, and I was just like seeking out a space and asked them, and they were sort of developing this as a space for artists at that time. So I've been here a long time now.
Yeah. So it must be, if you've been here for 15 years, that must be like, it must have a real like family inclusive feel to it.
Definitely, yeah, it really does. Paul and Cara, a lovely couple. They work in the arts. Paul works at Central St Martin's, and Cara is a sculptor. She's currently doing a residency in China, and her children are all creatives as well, and taken they're all artists in their own right, in their own field. So it's a real, and then all of us added to the artist community. So it's a really good vibe.
Yeah, oh, that's brilliant. So could you tell us a little bit about the art that you do?
My art is kind of an embellishment. It's all things sewn, creative, visual. I like to just collect things, and originally when I was a student I used to do a lot of printmaking. Some of like the piece behind you is screen printed, but I like to combine different techniques. And once I couldn't get into Hotwood Hall College, which is where I used to do my printing, you used to be able to just freely come and go to college environments, and then eventually they stopped night classes for alumni or adults.
Right.
And you can't go in now to a building without you having like your student pass and things like that. It got too much like hard work to actually go and access that service. So I then began just doing a lot more knitting and yarn art and sewing and embroidery that was just more accessible and easier to do. But I still would. We got a print press a few years ago from the college, because I'm still friendly with a technician, and they were getting rid of it. So that's downstairs now.
Can I have that, please?
Well, they sold it to us for a good amount. So we are going to be this summer doing, one of the girls, Laura, is running some workshops to use our print press. It's not screen printing, it's more like monoprints and etching. But she's got a really cool technique that she's using, Tetra Pak, like the drinks pack, and I've not done it yet, so I'm intrigued to find out
that
about
sounds
that.
Cool.
Yeah.
So you've kind of, one of the things that you do is kind of, you are kind of taking more sort of traditional styles of art and combining them with the more contemporary styles of art. So I wanted to ask like about sort of your inspirations that you had when you sort of were getting into doing art as a career and things, and I wondered like where those contemporary and traditional, like, did you have inspirations of both of them, or was it like one came first and then the other came second? Or
I think I was always just really interested in yarn, and the fact at that time, it was like the early noughties, it wasn't a buzz about knitting, and it was just thought of for old grannies, but I was thinking, the demise of that, who's going to carry it forward, who's going to take those skills into the future. So I used to attend knit and natters with old grannies, and they taught me those skills.
Oh, lovely.
And that's it. So it came from that, and I was inspired. I used to love like Beatrice Milhazes. She's a Brazilian artist, still I think prominent in the art scene, but she was just collaging imagery together, so it's like pattern. So I just think it's just a love of, and that embellishment, that heavily embellished, I just like a lot of visual things. So
that's so lovely. So when you would, I'm kind of curious about when the kind of having like kind of knitting with like going to, what was it, like a knit and natter kind of thing?
Yeah, so knit and natters are just groups of places where people meet each week, and they bring their projects and have a natter with others, but also there's more experienced people there, and they will pass on their skills. I've been doing a project this spring, and I've been going around to, I found a few new ones actually, which is brilliant, and there's people who've never knitted there, just learning, and that's where you get your skills, because those people have that experience. and you're meeting like-minded people, you allow that. It's good for your mental health because it allows your brain to switch off.
Course,
so for me personally, that act of creating, making, helps me switch off, takes you to another place.
Yeah, and having that kind of space to create with other people as well, I think must be like really nice.
Yeah, of course. It's like going to a meditation if you're in, and I got into all that spiritual stuff as well around probably over a decade ago now. So yeah, it's really important, I think, to share your passion with people who are like-minded. Same for musicians, I'm sure, if you're doing a jam, or it's the same for artists. So yeah.
Did you get any like crucial life advice from the people that were like the knitting and nattering with?
I think it's more just encouragement and little gifts they give you, like knitted things. I mean, because my studio buddy had moved out recently, I was tidying up my own things, and you find all sorts, over the years.
Oh,
gifts,
what kind of things?
Like little bookmarks or dolls and cute little mementos that they give you. Advice, I think it's probably just more word of mouth. So they're giving you advice like places to go, events for embroiderers guilds, or different art events, things that are happening around the areas or just outside your area for you to visit.
Yeah, that's so lovely, and it just I guess it kind of gets you more in with the community as well, doesn't it? Yeah.
Definitely,
are you from Rochdale originally?
Originally, yes, I've grown up here. I studied in Salford. I actually moved there because my best friend went to Liverpool the year before me, and I thought, yeah, this is what I should do, just to have the full experience. So I moved to Salford, and then actually when I finished, I could have lived in Manchester, but it's that close being in Rochdale. I just came back.
Yeah.
So apart from a bit of travelling around, it's different, travelling.
What was the main difference between Rochdale and Salford, do you think?
Just the cost of living. And to the sake of 20 minutes, I'm going to come home.
Yeah.
And I don't have, I love Salford, but it's very student area.
Yeah.
And, I could have settled there. I had a few friends who did stay in Eccles and around Salford for a little bit, but you end up, there's a bit more countryside here, and so I'm just drawn back to this side.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's
world.
Like, I think because I'm from Stockport, and it's kind of that same thing of, I think Stockport's obviously very built up, but then you have like all the hills that kind of go around it, and Rochdale kind of feels a bit the same.
Yeah,
like,
and we're close to Yorkshire. As we've got basically best of both worlds. You're in between Leeds, Manchester, but you've got Halifax, Stockport. If everywhere's quite close by. Liverpool's only like an hour away as well. So
that's good.
Yeah, there's a lot of connections to, and the countryside. Just being in nature really helps me. I love to be outside and in nature.
Do you find that helps with your inspiration when you're creating and stuff?
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, I'd been into dried flowers and pressing things, and at lockdown we developed our garden here at Ebor, which was all new, so we've got bees and flowers, so definitely nature, trees.
Have you got bees as well?
Yeah, I'll take you out after. I'll show you.
So I wanted to ask, when I was doing my research, one of the things was that you are very keen on sort of advocating and promoting sort of traditions that commonly come from women. Yeah, I kind of just wondered why it's important to you to promote those things and those crafts.
I think women's place, it's changed over the years, and that we were not heard, and we used to stay at home and do all our sewing, but deep down within your past psyche, you still have women who were doing that and maybe striving and not achieving. So it's amazing that we can actually now put that creativity and talent out there to the world and be celebrated for it, rather than, you're not heard, you just stay where you're in your house just sewing. I mean, I actually would love that old lifestyle where you could just be doing your sewing all the time, and it was a lot more of a simpler, quiet, calmer life, I imagine, but obviously tough for other reasons. But I don't know, it's just something that's always been within me. I enjoy that fine fragility of the sewing, and it's just like almost like it's within me.
Yeah, I think it's so important to really celebrate that kind of art and tradition and stuff.
And where we came from, the cotton mills here originally, people would be in a factory. Probably my ancestors, and if it was that time now, I would be just working a factory, spinning the yarns, and maybe
same, yeah,
we would
totally.
both probably be, yeah. So now we don't have to spin it, but we can just maybe make things from it and be inspired by that.
Yeah, I guess it's that kind of connection to the heritage, I guess, of like where like our ancestors came from and all that
Definitely.
sort of stuff. So when you're kind of combining those two different elements together, what is your favourite combination of the two? Like the two things that you just love to like put together and
just clashing colours, a lot of bling, a lot of it just being over the top, bright. But in the work that I've done more recently, it is maybe a bit more dumbed down. You know, how do I say the word? It's subtle. It's not as garish.
Yeah.
So I think you just go in waves and trying out and experimenting.
What's your favourite
things.
clashing colour combination?
Oh, probably like hot pink with a nice khaki or lime green.
Oh my god, that's my favourite one too.
Really?
Like yeah. So like I got some photos done and I wore this like it was like lime green suit across like a pink, like hot pink background.
My degree show they were a bit against this as well because it's all the white wall sort of gallery, but I wanted bright yellow. And I went for it, and they were up against. No, you can't. They didn't want it, but I was determined, and we got the yellow, and I loved it. But I can't choose a favourite colour because I love royal blue, like that deep cobalt purple. You can't choose a colour. Yellow, that beautiful just contrast of those brights together. All the rainbow. Let's not single anything out.
If there was like a type of art that you maybe haven't done that much with over the years and you wanted to experiment with, what would it be? Like if there was like a different type of art that you've never experimented with before, what would you want to do?
Trying to think, maybe like fashion design, I suppose. I mean, I have done a little like make a dress. It's actually really challenging to make garments. I think I've realised that quite swiftly when I did that dressmaking course. I think I always just keep evolving, so keeping on trying new techniques. If there was something I wanted to have had a go at, off the top of my head I can't think, but I'm sure there'd be something because you're always developing, always learning new skills. I suppose. Oh, well, I can't think of one off the top of my head.
That's
Maybe
okay.
we'll ask that question again in a moment if I think of anything.
That's okay. But yeah, I mean, like, dressmate, like, I like got a sewing machine and I was like, oh, this will be dead easy. And then you do it and you're like, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, like, it's actually challenging, isn't it? I mean, I did the dress. The dress was fit. I finished it and it was, but I'm so, when you're perfectionist about it, it was a bit bulky. There was some bulky, chunky bits around the shoulder where I'd inserted the arm, and so I think you're just a natural at that.
Yeah. Do you find that like with, because I find this with, because it's kind of like music for me was a hobby, and then you kind of turn it into your job. Passion, and do you find that like you can sometimes have that thing where you try and, because I get this all the time, it's like trying new things and then because you can't quite get it right the first few times you're like, oh well, I'm not going to do it anymore. Do you have that as an artist?
Definitely. And I think sometimes in life, if it's not flowing, it's almost like a barrier. You're coming up against it, and you do have to push on through, but sometimes I think the best things that work out for you are the ones that come easily. It's almost like it was too good, it was so easy, but I think that's just because you're on your correct path and it works. So I always do things that I feel happiest and most content with doing.
Yeah, definitely. And I wanted to ask you a little bit about the chakra art that you do, because I personally, I don't know that much about it, so this is me being really curious about it. And I wanted to know, like, I guess kind of just to know a bit about how it works and how you do it.
Originally, I designed it to sort of, the idea was that you could educate other people about that. So I think it was probably 15, 20 years. It was between maybe 17 years ago. I did my Reiki level 1 and then soon after level 2, which is energetic healing. Anyone can do it. Lots of people practice it. You can go for it. I recommend it. I really enjoy it. So after I'd been like learning about the chakras, they run basically basic from the root to the crown, and it's just energy flowing through your body. But the root, they're all integrated by different colour and different energies and things like that. So I just began developing that, like making work or just focusing on the root and red 1 week. So I just, so it was basically colour coding my art, giving me a focus, allowing me to, hopefully I made prints that people could buy one of the chakras and then crystals to match. So it was, they were based, they'd help you, they'd heal you, because it was based on what you needed that right then. Your core, for example, is your self-confidence, drive, determination, heart centres, mainly green and pinks. And so they all represent lots of different things. So they're really nice as gifts for presents, or if people are poorly in a certain area, they might need balancing.
Right,
so it was almost like bringing art and therapy together.
Yeah. Have you done much like art therapy stuff before in
actually,
your work?
Oh, well, we could go back to that question about if there was something I have like looked into doing art therapy as maybe a master's.
Yeah.
So that could be something that I could develop, to help others, but also have that knowledge. I think it's just, I always do things and then what I'm passionate about. So maybe just getting that out there to other people might be a good thing. On my list to do is to make a painting and describe all of the chakras, so people could look at that and then go, oh, maybe you could design me a piece based on the one that they're drawn to the most.
Yeah, so so each of the chakras, they have like a different symbol, don't they? Like the way that they're sort of stitched
the pieces
out.
up behind you, I'll show you after, but this is root, sacral, solar plexus, heart, throat, third eye and crown, which is like above your head,
right?
To really connect to like spirit source. So that's the main basic 7.
That's. Do you have a favourite one that you like to stitch out? Which one's your favourite?
The crown, because it's the easiest. But no, I love them all because I can't choose a favourite colour. I can't choose a favourite chakra, but sometimes I use that as like a weekly to try and keep up your creativity and working. I would focus on root for 1 week, then the sacral, and also be doing healing. Because I have, a few years ago, I started doing like daily essentials for myself, i.e. like meditate, journal, drink water. I know it sounds ridiculous, but sometimes in a busy
drinking
life,
water,
you need to focus these things and they become habits then. So even just my reading about my chakra, because it was when I didn't know anything like yourself about that, I was reading each week and doing a little small healing meditation or whatever at the night, just based on root or based on sacral, whichever chakra I was focusing on that week. So it helped me learn all that I know now about those. So I was hoping to maybe develop it into doing like horoscope art, so that they combine a few different things. So
I mean, just remembering to drink water, I think, is just hard enough, let alone everything else in everyday life.
Exactly. But doing those habits, daily essentials I call them, for my self-care, really helps me to keep focused and balanced through what is sometimes.
Do you think it just helps your creativity overall, like having that understanding?
And I know in life you have things that come up and sometimes you're not as creative as others, but also to be gentle to yourself and not worry too much. If you can't force your creativity, or you have to just go with the ride of the waves and keep going, basically keep making art and try not to worry what people think too much, just carry on being creative.
Yeah, definitely. And with the crystals, so is it that there's different crystals connected to each chakra, and is it like one specific, or is there like a few that connect to each one?
There's a few different and anything that you're really drawn to be honest. There's no set rules, but they say some crystals are even if it's just based on colour, but it can be that some are matched with certain horoscopes or chakras. Do
you have a favourite crystal?
I love carnelian. It's the orange, vibrant orange one. I'll show you some after. Rose quartz, beautiful. Pink.
Yeah, that's my favourite one.
I heard this thing that apparently, it might not be true, so don't quote it, but Ibiza Island is on rose quartz, and that's why you get such positive love vibes. Well, I've no idea. I mean, I don't know what quartz they dig up, but maybe it's not unrealistic that rose quartz is found there in that part of the world, so high vibing energy of love. So but I really love crystals. I don't like to be not eco, and I know that they come from the earth and stuff like that, so you've got to be quite conscious of that. But they do have powerful vibes. I love them.
Yeah, no, it's so cool. Yeah, it's just something that I've never really consumed before, so it's very interesting to hear all about and how it actually works.
I'll give you a crystal today before you go.
Yeah,
you can take one away and start your journey.
So I wanted to ask you a little bit about your community work and doing workshops and stuff. So I wanted to ask a little bit about what kind of workshops do you do, and do you do them in the local area and stuff like that?
I've always taught workshops alongside what I do, a bit like the method of when you go to Knit and Natters and they teach me. I would like to pass that on, pay it forward almost, giving away your skills. So when my job I currently do, children's mental health, I bring that to them and they love it. The children making things the same way as me, helping you with your mental health, just to switch off. I've done a lot of knitting projects in the community, and a few years ago, before lockdown, I used to run a crafternoon here once a month, which was a similar thing where you teach people to knit. But alongside any job, I've always done little workshops in schools to teach the basics of sewing, knitting, crochet, and I'll always keep doing that. Even at like festivals or garden party we run here each year, I'll do a little corner with sometimes it might just be magic wands or making things out of scraps. The things that we do within the workshops vary, but it tends to just be a bit like my artwork. Lots of colour. We use everything. We try and upcycle a lot as well. So I'm using things that I found during lockdown. Lindsay was busy. My studio buddy next door is a fashion designer and she makes clothing. So there's a lot of scrap waste. So we used that, made it into yarn, and I sent out boxes for people, and then they could go on Zoom and join in the workshop. That was one that was really cool. I mean, it was a lot of work. I'd never do it again. All preparing everyone's yarn. It was still good.
And do you think that was a good way to kind of connect with people? And I guess those kinds of because I always used to get the advert, like sponsored ads for like the pottery, like making your own pots and things like that.
Yeah.
And I think it was such a good way for people to kind of just take their mind off what was going on in the world.
You can teach a really simple skill. Even when I've worked in, say, sheltered accommodation places where people may be a bit elderly or young children who don't have the fine motor skills yet, always making tasks accessible. So there will be a really simple French knitting task or pom-pom making that is accessible to most people, so that they can feel like they're joining in and everyone's welcome. Yeah.
Do you think it's maybe more crucial than ever since the pandemic, but I guess always, do you think it is kind of more crucial that young people are exposed to art to help with their mental health and things?
So I think just so much, even for me personally as an adult, knowing I didn't grow up with phones, so it's quite, and often on a Sunday I'll just put it away and not see it, but it doesn't bother me because I'm used to it, not having it, and I enjoy that space. But for young people, it's very overwhelming. It's no wonder they're having a lot of anxiety when they're not having enough break from that screen time. It's a kind of an overstimulation. So there are children who do use a tablet or something in our session, but I try and give them that 1 hour where they don't have it, put it away, unless they're in crisis or something's happening where they might need it. I wouldn't ever say no, because it's not school, they're supposed to be coming for a therapeutic session, so I would always allow it. But most of the time we try and discourage phone just for that hour, because if they're doing a sports session or art, anything creative, just switching off your mind for that time away from your gadgets is beneficial.
Do you think it's becoming a little bit more difficult to try and get children to sort of, engage in the craft of what they're doing, because they're maybe not as exposed to doing
because
it?
It's hard to get them off these things. They're addicted to it, or it's their security blanket. Like we had a fidget or something toy, they might have that as just a relief, just to be feeling safe. You can't know what a child feels or thinks from that while they use it. But definitely we just need to encourage that they do have those breaks for movement, for self, even to rest, because they're keeping it on too late. But when I do actually, not alongside the art, teach yoga and mindful movement in school, where we're teaching children about the importance of having breaks, switching off, and making sure you get that rest and time away.
Yeah, definitely. I wanted to ask, because I also do like bits of teaching and teaching music and things, and I wanted to ask, what do you enjoy the most about doing this kind of work? Like, what is the thing when you're sort of in workshops or watching young people creating, and you just go, oh, I'm so glad that I get to do this. I'm so glad.
Yeah, I definitely. I mean, sometimes I need a little break after those sessions sometimes, because it's so intense. Like, me and my friend laugh about it. But yeah, overall, if you're just making a difference to at least 1 or 2 children through that year, that's making a difference. Or encouraging that it's okay to be different. I always teach the young people that we're all unique. It's like your own superpower, your uniqueness, and that you should celebrate that. A lot of time now people have feeling that to be like a certain way, or especially nowadays, all this like different types of makeup and screen time and what you must look like. Sometimes it's like celebrate those uniquenesses, and make them feel confident in their own little quirks or differences.
Yeah, and I think that's, and yeah, definitely, and I guess like with art, probably slightly different to music. I think it's like you can be so much freer in what you're experimenting with and what you're doing, and just to kind of, I guess, own it. I guess.
Yeah, and it's just
like,
it's more. It is like a spiritual practice in a way. For doing
Yeah,
that. And I think children need it a lot more. Like there's not as much physical creative set in their education, and that's what we're seeing. Maybe more anxiety. I know we've got more children on tablets and things and screens, but it might be the fact that they're not being able to express themselves or have that creative output, play, just dance or those fun things that we were just doing continuously. I was growing up in the 80s and 90s. You were doing a lot more, I feel, of that play and expressing yourself, so knowing that it is okay.
Working with Rochdale Creates as part of doing the podcast series, and I wanted to ask about how important it is for that there is like strong arts and culture within areas like Rochdale or similar sort of towns.
Yeah, I mean,
like
it's brilliant having Rochdale create, and with One Town of Culture, bringing more opportunities, even like yourself come in to do podcast or, I like being part of a community of artists here at Ebor because it gives you those, when you have group shows together, or it's just that community, it keeps you going, like it inspires you to be good and do work and practice and keep that up because everybody else is doing that same thing too.
Yeah.
And it is important, and it's definitely always going on. I think just people don't know about it.
Yeah, do you think it's maybe more about the sort of there being more highlight in particularly like, I guess like northern towns, I suppose, of having that like there is things happening here, it's not all just happening like in London.
I think sometimes though, it's one of those things, it's good, but then almost if it gets too popular then it doesn't be the same thing that it was when it wasn't. I mean, like if a festival is new and it's a cool place and everyone was like, oh, raves about it, and then everyone knows about it and it becomes a few years later it's not what you originally went to. But that's it, we're always evolving, always changing, and it's great that there is, more people knowing about what's happening in the northern towns, and we're really friendly here, so people are onto that.
I'm going to ask you, what would be things that you recommend to do in Rochdale? If people were coming for the first time, what would you recommend people do?
Well, you've got to come to Ebor, an event, obviously.
Okay. Oh, obviously, yeah.
But we do run like a couple of open studios during the year and garden party a few times where people can come and mooch about, because it is a closed, obviously, space for artists to work. But, checking out, I like the Whittaker, that's in Rochdale, really nice little gallery, play space, and you must check out our town hall because it's recently renovated, absolutely stunning. So I've been enjoying going there quite a lot in the last year,
Yeah, oh, amazing. So the last thing I like to ask everyone is like, what does your typical day look like? So like, just like if you're in the studio, like what does your day look like when you're just cutting about?
Yeah, I guess probably a bit like an ADHD brain where I'm like, I've got 10 things on the brain at once, but trying to just, it's like that project where you start 10 projects and you never quite finish. You're doing them all the time. So yeah, probably a bit scatty. But I always write lists. So like I was telling you about my essentials. So my day will start an hour earlier than I need to get ready just to do those self-care things first thing. And then whatever's on the list, I hopefully make it through that for the day, in terms of juggling work. My studio day is Friday. And there's a few people actually at the moment, so there's kind of like Monday club and Friday club where a few of the people who work as well, try to make that for their studio time. But it's not just at between 9 to 5. My creativity will probably be more later on when I've finished work, or different times at the weekends and visiting, going to galleries and being inspired. So I always like to make time for that. Typical day. It's just kind of a lot of chaos, probably.
Yeah, great. That's what it sounds like my days, to be honest. Are you a music person or a podcast listener? Do you have music on or do you have podcasts
on?
Radio, right, yeah.
Bad,
no, I've had, I think quite a few people that I've asked that question have said radio, actually.
Right.
Yeah.
My sister-in-law, she loves podcasts and she walks her dog and and I have listened to podcasts, don't get me wrong, I do put them on. But yeah, the radio's great because it's spontaneous, you don't know what's coming on next. I just like radio.
Yeah. I'm definitely like I like it when I'm driving, because it kind of like feels like you've got a companion. I think when you work alone a lot, it's kind of like having like the radio on. But yeah, no, don't worry, you're not the only person to have said the radio.
Brilliant. Well, it's not dead yet.
No, definitely. Well, Cheryl, thank you so much for chatting to me about it. And hopefully people will come to your workshops and see all the amazing stuff that you do and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you for coming.
Thank you. So that was Cheryl Beswick. I enjoyed that interview so much. And yeah, I didn't really know anything about like chakras and chakra art and crystals and things. So it was kind of really nice to find out a little bit more about that sort of stuff. That's what I've loved about this podcast, is just like getting to find out things that I don't know, basically. And she did give me a crystal at the end. I got a rose quartz. And please go and check out her work, and please go and check out the work that Ebor Studios are doing as well. They hold like a few different open studio events and open house style things across the year. So if you can go and check those out, then go and check their website and the social media. I'll pop them in the caption underneath. And please go and support them, and please go and support the work that Rochdale Creates are doing. They're doing loads of really amazing work to boost the profile of Rochdale creatives and Rochdale artists. This isn't just in art, but in music and all other in creative industries as well. So please go and check them out. And they have a newsletter that you can subscribe to, and you can find out all the amazing things that are happening in Rochdale, because there's lots of them. And yeah, I think it's really hard at the moment for like DIY scenes and community spaces with lots of funding cuts and things. So if you can go and support those places and show your support in any way that you feel you can, even if it's just, you know, a share of a social media post of an event that's happening, it really does help DIY and community scenes. And if you can do that in your local area, then it just makes all the difference. So yeah, please support DIY spaces, please support emerging artists and creatives. It really, really does make a difference. And yeah, that's it from me. Thank you so much again for listening to This Is Mint and for following me along on this amazing journey. We are going to be doing another series, which is very exciting. We're going to be back in the new year after I have been on tour. You can get your tickets now. But yeah, we're going to be back. If there's anyone you want me to interview, let me know. There might be someone that I've never heard of. Please tell me your recommendations of people to interview, and maybe I'll get around to interviewing them. So thank you again for listening. I've been Heather Ferrier, and you've been listening to This Is Mint. Bye.